Yo folks, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back at the Hibernian Training Centre with Darren. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to talk about your career. So remember to hit that big red button down below that, which is subscribe. And Daz, how many likes should we get on this video?
1,000.
He's called that 1,000 likes. Probably get that bit.
Is that optimistic?
Oh well.
Need to shoot for the stars,
Aye. Right, so my first question, what got you involved with football as a kid?
Well, my story's probably different for a lot of the guys in that I started quite late. My dad was never really into football. He was more of a boxing man, so I just sort of found it through playing with my friends in the playground and stuff. And it was a common thing to do back then. You'd play football, you'd get your jumpers, you'd put them down, you'd make pretend goals with, and you'd play away long bangers, all these types of games. And it just naturally occurred between the ages of maybe 6 and 7, and then I went to Leaf Athletic at under 11s. That was when I first really got the bug to play. My friend at the time, Patrick, his dad used to give us a lift along to the links, and it was under 11s I started playing sort of part-time, whereas you get kids now that are 4 and 5, they start playing. I mean, I've got a son, Max. He's 2, and he's at like the tiny tots football, so it shows how times have changed.
What inspires you?
Inspires me? I just think to be the best person you can be. I think when I was younger, I enjoyed playing football. My aspiration was to be a football player, but it's very difficult. You see the amount of kids that actually start playing and actually go on to be a professional. And obviously, my route to professional football was a bit different, in that I actually started to work. Before that, I worked in Tesco's. I worked as a labourer. I was a call centre worker. I was fired from all of them as well, which is never a good sign. And then I ended up in a clothes shop called Excel, where I worked till I was 24. And I was lucky enough to play with a manager called Danny Lennon that actually went to St Mirren. I was lucky enough that he phoned me one day and asked me if I wanted to become a professional football player. And at the age of 24, to be asked if you wanted to become a professional football player, most guys would say yes, and I did, and I've not looked back since.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Hopefully still here. Hopefully still, I mean, playing to some people might be optimistic because that would be 39. So, but if David Weir can do it, I can do it. But just contributing in some way or form, whether it's on the field or off the field. I mean, I love Hibs. It's taken me a long time to get here. I've been here for 4 years, a successful 4 years, enjoyed it. I love everybody here, and I love the club as well. So, I mean, if I can contribute, whether it's on the pitch or helping younger guys off the pitch, I'm more than willing to stay and give a hand.
What was it like playing for St Mirren and, strange enough, Rangers?
It was actually, see, to be honest, I'd went from playing at a team called Arniston Rangers, which was a junior team. So if anybody knows it, they're out in Gorebridge. Nothing against Gorebridge, but not probably the nicest setting for a football pitch. But that gave me the grounding that I needed in football, and the appreciation for football as well. So I was there for 2 years, and then I was at Cowdenbeath as well, on and off for 4 years. So that appreciation for football was massive. So when I did step into full-time professional football, I took everything in my stride, and I just wanted to be the best person that I could be. Very seldom do you get that opportunity at that age to actually be a professional football player. So it's to have your dream handed to you. It was incredible. So the appreciation for football straight off the bat was there, and I just worked hard. I tell that to all the youngsters: if you work hard, you've got half a chance. Ability is great, but if you've not got the work ethic to match, then sometimes that's where you can sort of fall apart. So as soon as I got my foot in the door there, I worked hard every single day. I battled against different negativity, whether it be injuries or whether it be the perceived inadequacies of a second division player going straight into a full-time environment. A lot of people had written me and the other few boys that I'd came with off, and a lot of people thought that we wouldn't be able to deal with it, but we did. Well, I did anyway, and Quado is now playing juniors and the other guy's retired. But so I loved it. I loved St Mirren, and then getting the opportunity to go to Rangers, I know Hibs and Rangers haven't got the best relationship, but for me it was just an experience to go to Murray Park where there's so much sort of history, Ibrox as well. And again, like Hibs, have got a lot of good people in the background, and I was very fortunate to go there and spend a year there. Although Hibs that year gave us an absolute doing a few times, which is quite funny to be on the other side of the fence coming to Easter Road and being the opposing player, as to now I'm putting on the green and white, so it was quite a weird feeling. And Louis Stevenson running by me for that goal at Ibrox when he smashed it in the top corner. I remember that vividly, so
brilliant.
It was good. It was a brilliant goal. I think I probably should have done a wee bit better, but it was. All these memories are great. Everybody asks, the Scottish Cup and playing with Rangers and whatnot, but you never really savour them until I think you're maybe retired or you're tapering down, so you just move on to the next thing. But just sitting here with you and you obviously talking about it does bring back good memories. I think I've been very fortunate to play at the clubs I've been at. I'm sure if you'd asked guys that I'd played with when I was younger that I'd be playing with St Mirren, I actually met an old coach of mine the other day in Costa, and he's like, I can't believe you're sitting here having played with St Mirren, Rangers and Hibs, because I was never the best player when I was younger, but as I say, I had a good application and a good work ethic, and that stood me in good stead up until this point.
What made you support Hibs?
I think a lot is to do with the area that you come from. I mean, you grew up in Gorgie, more often than not you'd be a Hearts fan, depending on what team your dad supports. But because my dad was never really into football, the environment and the area that I grew up in was predominantly a Hibs fan. So it was just the team I latched onto. And I remember getting my first discounted Hibs trip when there used to be a store on Junction Street. People that are similar ages to me will probably remember it, called Thompson's. And they used to sell Hibs merchandise, and it was a green and purple. It might have been the away kit with colour on the front of it. And I got it the year after it came out for $9.99. So that was my first Hibs purchase. So I didn't know what year that would have been, but yeah. And ever since then, I've never professed to be an absolutely mad supporter. When I was younger, I think I attended games when I could sneak into them, and I always looked out for the results, and my family are all Hibs supporters as well. So to finally come here and play with them, that was even better.
What do you remember about the Scottish Cup final? Was there any different to any other cup finals?
I think going into it, the overwhelming feeling I had is that we really had to pull something out the bag, because the season we had at one point in the season, as you probably can remember, we were on to win the League Cup, we were on to win the league, and we were on to win the Scottish Cup. I mean, and that's very seldom you see a team in the Championship that are got their foot in the door in every one of the competitions. So it was great. And then obviously we lost the League Cup with that last minute goal, and then obviously we got put out of the playoffs. So it was like a lot of doom and gloom. And I think because Hibs fans had been to Hampden that much, me included, there was this air of negativity that we're just got it, the phrase that got coined that year was Hibs it, and we're going to Hibs it again. So I think, especially for me, that was at the forefront of my mind, that wanted to go in a high, and we knew probably deep down that if we won the Scottish Cup, it probably would have papered over all these cracks, being the fact that we lost the League Cup, that we never got promoted for whether it was the second or third year on the bounce. So they were all disappointments, but we knew that if we could get over the line in the Scottish Cup, then it would be massive, because it was a 114-year wait. So that was on my mind especially. And the game, I mean, I didn't remember much about the game. I've not watched it back, to be honest, many times, because it's pretty sacred for me. I want to savour it, and I almost didn't want to burn it out by watching it too many times. So the odd event we go to, when it's playing, I'll watch it. But other than that, I just remember after it, obviously hugging Dave Gray, because he was very tightly. And my friends actually came onto the pitch. I didn't want to stitch them up, so I'll not mention their names, but I looked up and they were on me. So it was great sharing it with friends and family, and it was just an absolutely amazing occasion that I think it's difficult to put into words. The feelings that everybody felt, and seeing the supporters the next again day was just as good for me.
I mean, it was always going to happen. I mean, the police didn't really do a good job.
You can say that, Alan.
What made you be a centre back?
So no, that's a good question. I think you'll probably find a lot of centre halves have probably played a bit forward when they're younger, and then it either takes a coach or maybe even themselves that sort of realise that you're maybe not good enough to play in the centre of the park, and it's a natural progression to go back the way. But I was never really a midfielder. I always just liked defending, to be honest. For a young age, I'd rather be defending than attacking. I think a lot of the time when you're younger, people like to attack, they like to score goals, but I always got pleasure in defending, heading the ball, and setting up the play for the back. So I just naturally fell into it. I think when I was younger, it was something that I liked to do. So it just seemed natural to me.
What other team would you have supported if you didn't support Hibs?
That's a good question. It definitely wouldn't have been Hearts or Rangers, I would imagine. I think it probably would have been Celtic. To me, Celtic, just similar sort of background, you would say, and I like their strip as well. It's a nice colour, so I would definitely say Celtic.
I mean, they're the ones that borrowed the hoops off us.
Is that right?
Never gave us them back. Who's the best player you've played with?
I think you need to say, I mean, I've played with a couple at St Mirren, to be fair. When you look back at the team we had at St Mirren, we had John McGinn, Kenny McLean, that's now at Norwich. Aaron Moy was there for a while, that's at Huddersfield and plays with Australia. So I think natural ability, when I first seen him, Aaron Moy was incredible. I mean, he really was, and he's since went on to prove that with his £10 million move to Huddersfield. But I think seeing the natural progression of him, because I've known him since he was 16, it need to be, and where he's went to now is probably pretty obvious. It's John McGinn. Just the attributes that he had, and as I say, I seen him when he was transitioning from a sort of mid-teenager into being a full-grown man, and it's just every single step he takes forward is positive, and he seems to get better and better, and he's now proving it in one of the hardest, most competitive leagues in the world, and he's standing out. So I think he's got another move in him, and fair play to him. Great guy, great work ethic, and just deserves everything he gets.
It's quality. Who's the toughest player you've played against?
The toughest player? You're going on this season, you need to say maybe Jermaine Defoe at Ibrox, because that was a bit of a smashing, to be honest. I think even for his age, his movement, I mean, I always find that guys that want to stand and sort of tussle with you, I don't want to give too much away, but are a wee bit easier because they're not moving as much, whereas you've got a really intelligent player. Stokesy had it to a certain extent when he was here as well, that Kenny Muller in his prime was a quick thinker, and just a good football brain. And it's testament to Defoe that the age he's at, that he can still perform to their levels. So I basing it on this season, I'd say him. Prior to that, when I first broke into the St Mirren team, it was maybe the guy Jelavic when he first went to Rangers. I remember him really having all the attributes with the physicality, but also had the footballing brain. So he was definitely a handful.
Who were your footballing idols growing up?
Probably, I've said it a few times, but obviously Frank Sozzi when he was here and he was playing. I think because it was similar position to myself, me being a centre half and a defender. I like to say I've seen a lot of his attributes in me, but that'd probably be a lie. But it was just very composed on the ball. A centre half that took free kicks back then was quite uncommon, and he just had an airy sort of confidence, stroke arrogance about him that I liked. And just the way that he sort of glided across the ground. He's definitely somebody that I looked up to. And then obviously Russell Latape as well. Just always seemed to be in control of the ball and very comfortable on it. So it was a good era, that.